Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Art Talk with Susana Baker, your favorite segment from The Money Man. Every Friday, we come live from The Money Man at 10:42. And with me this morning, we always bring the movers, the shakers, the cultural makers. And I'm fortunate enough to be sitting with the very colorful Chris Riggs. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks so much for having me on your wonderful show. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for the great introduction.
Oh my God, I gotta tell you, you are a very colorful, very humble, very sweet, very colorful. Your height, when I would see you at the fairs, because I always get to see you every year during Miami Art Week, you could find Chris Riggs. And what's your height? You're like 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. And so you can see you from afar, and you always have these eclectic outfits and eccentric glasses, which is your look. And it also speaks volumes on how it resonates on your canvases as well, because you got some amazing color palettes that you choose.
Oh, thanks so much.
I love your work.
Oh,
and
thank you.
I have to tell you, those that don't know Chris Riggs, you should definitely follow this artist. He is been around a very long time. He is born in Manhattan, New York. I just got in the pre-show that we do with my Facebook, which you could go to Art Talk with Susana Baker on Facebook and see more of the video. And we also do on YouTube. If you subscribe to us at YouTube, which Miami Art Scene Susana Baker, you'll get the video of Chris Riggs with some of his original pieces. Now, Chris, you started with this helping your father who owns stores. You were telling me at the young age of 5.
Yeah, my father owned stores when I was a little kid, when I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he would make art, and I would make art with him. He would make some sculptures and spray paint them. And my grandfather was doing like folk art paintings of Italy. So that's how I first got into art. So
you were surrounded with your own close family, father, grandfather painting, and then they let you help paint over the sculptures.
Yeah, I was making art with my dad. And then we were selling some of the sculptures at his stores in Manhattan.
And so when I was speaking to you, you were saying how that whole experience, being creative, making something that was fun, art, sculptures, painting them, and then actually putting them in a store to sell became something that really engaged you, saying, hey, this is kind of cool to do. And now if you fast forward, you became a graffiti artist as well in New York, right? Always painting murals.
Yeah, because later on, it was like the 80s, and that was like, it was everywhere. You saw, the nice, colorful, bubbly letters, like, as a little kid, it looks fun because it's all colorful and bubbly. You don't know it's illegal or anything.
Right.
So then I would go home and like draw letters and stuff. And then when I went to high school, my high school was basically in the projects, in Woodside Projects. Bryant High School is like the same block.
Right.
So I would hang out with the artists from the projects, and some of them were like really good,
Yeah, they did the 3D and all the...
Yeah, so then we would like learn together and paint and go find walls like on some hidden tracks or some, abandoned tunnel somewhere, and go paint in some abandoned buildings and like paint murals.
And one thing that we were talking about prior to the pre-show was your height. Your height and the expansion of your hand would allow you to tag parts of the walls that other artists weren't able to tag, because as a muralist in the streets, in the urban art scene, just to let you know, most of these artists are nocturnal, or they have to be really quick and fast. They're running from the law. They're trying to find walls, subway cars. They hang with hooks and chains or even ladders, and they try to sneak in, do the best work. The better the letters, the better the story is. They become the hero of the underdog of the art scene, and that's how many of these artists become inspired, and then eventually they trade in their aerosols for paintbrushes. And you did that at teenager.
Yeah, I started painting like 16, 17, 18. I started painting on like wood panels, like just on wood that I found.
And those
then
were your abstractions or your letters?
I would paint letters and abstract. I always painted letters and abstract. Like I
Together.
did more than one art form. Like one day I'll paint letters, the next day I'll paint an abstract one. The next day I could do a sculpture or, you know, something else.
Now, I love the fact that when I asked you, how did you get into art? What was your break? When did you know this is something you really wanted to do? And you mentioned that you got your break politically.
No, it wasn't politically. It was just there was Mayor Ed Koch had a citywide contest from all the schools. So my painting won the contest, and then there was posters made of the painting and put on the trains.
That is awesome.
So that was the first time my family saw, oh, maybe he has some talent or something. And then I went to like a private art school at one point where, like, you know, they used to have like around, like, an artist would open up like a studio, and then like the kids would go there and draw with them. So I did that, you know, too, for a little while. I liked doing that, and like I would, you know, draw like houses and buildings, and they would be all colorful. My stuff was always really colorful, always like a lot of color. When I came to Miami, it got even more colorful because everybody's so colorful.
So you came to
here.
Miami in 2011.
Yeah. The first time I came to Miami was in 2001, but then I moved here in 2011.
2011.
That's when I bought a house here.
So Mayor Koch does this statewide art competition among
like
all the high schools,
citywide
citywide
it
competition.
was like junior high schools.
Okay, and so here you are in junior high school. You submit your work, you win the competition, and now your artwork is legally inside the trains.
Yeah, it's on the poster.
And then at nighttime, you illegally embellish the outside of the trains.
Yeah, so then at night, like me and my friends from the projects, we would go like paint in the tunnels.
Right.
Or paint on the train.
Kind of cool, huh? Best of both worlds.
Yeah, so I got to see, you know, the gallery world, or the, you know, like the supposed real art world, and then the underground. But in the art world, the underground always becomes the mainstream. Like it used to be the Impressionists in France. Paris used to be the big place for art.
Right.
You know, now then it moved to New York with the abstract expressionist, you know, but there's a lot of theories on who funded them, really. And then after that, like, New York got so expensive for artists started going other places like Miami,
right?
You know, Austin, you know,
so
LA.
Now let's go back with you. How do you get your first gallery show? So now we find out you, as a young and youth, you get embraced by your parents and your grandfather in arts. They introduce that to you, that lingers with you. And then you had told me you went to New Jersey with your aunt, and that was open spaces. And so you started to write the words peace, love, and so that started to be, those positive affirmations become part of those letters into words on your canvas. Abstraction continues. When was the first piece that you sold, and where, that you said, okay, now I'm going to quit my other jobs and just give it all I got?
I opened my own gallery in 2003. It was the first street art gallery in Brooklyn.
All right. What was the name of it?
It was called Ghetto Mart.
Ghetto Mart.
So we sold like street art clothing. I sold like vintage clothing. And,
so you're a businessman since a youth.
We sold paintings.
Nice.
But then, you know, I was selling other artists' stuff. I was making my own stuff, but I wasn't really trying to sell it too much then.
Right.
But I was looking for like an artist who really hustled, who was like painting 7 days a week, and like, and I was like finding, like, you know, a lot of artists are laid back.
Right.
You know, they're not like Wall Street people just gonna be like working 6-7 days a week, like 18 hours a day, you know. But I had that hustle, so I was like, let me just sell my own paintings. You know, because I'm painting 7 days a week, and then I just started selling my own, and the price goes higher and higher and higher and higher. Then it's like a video game after a while. And
so now, when Ghetto Mart, when do you start getting collected by collectors? Are you invited to fairs, shows? I see that you've done some museum shows. Let our audience know a little bit.
2003, 2004, 2005. That's when I started getting collected by collectors, but my price back then was not as high as it is now. But then ever since those years, the price has been going up steadily pretty much every year.
Well, yeah, because you're commissioned and critiqued and collected by the right collectors, which is awesome. And your work is so fresh and clean, and
If the stock market goes up 10%, my art goes up like 100%.
That's awesome. And
if the stock market goes down 10%, my stock market,
and the
my
great
paintings
thing
go up
about
anyway.
you is that you give back to kids and you give back. So even though you've been fortunate and God has blessed you, and your dad and grandpa must be so proud of you up there. They're cheering you on. Here you go, and you get Christy to commission one of your paintings for one of their auctions, silent auctions. Can you let us know a little bit about that? Because I want the audience to know your next show that they could see you. But they did a silent auction, and it was auctioned off for shy of $30,000. I read. Is that correct?
Yeah, they did an auction. They had like a dinner and did an auction, and it was just a lot of influential people there, and they bid it up. And when you start out as an artist, you're running around galleries like this. I just want to say something, for artists who are starting out, because a lot of them just give up. Like you go to a lot of people, they go to art school, they making stuff in art school, they finish art school, and then they don't make another painting, or they go like one or two times to galleries and say, hey, can I have a show? Can I have a show? When you're starting out as an artist, you have to go to 1 million galleries and ask for a show and beg on your knees for a show. That's how. When you don't have a gallery, you got to find a gallery, But then as you make it, like now I have galleries asking me for shows. I got galleries now who only have dead artists who's selling stuff for $50,000, $100,000, who maybe have one other living artist who's selling little ones for like $10,000. So I'm getting in like,
God bless you.
I'm getting in some like
and
heavy
you did
hitter
something for
galleries.
Bloomingdale's too. What did you do for Bloomingdale's? I saw a really badass shoe.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I did an art show at Bloomingdale's also. I made sculptures for them.
But what was that high heel with that? You did a shoe.
Yeah, we painted an 8-foot shoe for them.
Okay. So it was a sculpture. It was an 8-foot shoe.
Yeah, I painted all their windows in front.
Size 10.
Yeah, we're thinking about that.
Those would be great. That's what I thought.
Yeah, so many people ask me for that.
Yeah, size 10. Anyway, where can we find you, Chris Riggs? Can you tell our audience the social media handles to see your work and to follow you?
I'm on Facebook on Chris Riggs Art. I'm on Instagram at Chris Riggs Art.
And that's ChrisRiggsArt.
Yeah.
And so Chris Riggs Art. And I have to tell you.
If you just go online and search
your next show,
Chris Riggs
where's
Art.
your next show that I could find you, that I could go see you?
My next show I have coming up is a solo show in LA, and it's going to be with a bunch of new paintings.
What's the name of the gallery?
I don't want to.
You don't want to say yet.
I'm not releasing the name yet.
Oh, good for you. So keep us on our toes. So that means we're going to have to keep looking at your social media for the announcement. But you're always posting these amazing pictures, and your collectors, and they're so nice to let you take a picture of their homes. Some beautiful art you've sold to some amazing homes. I always get to see them on the mountain or on the ocean, over their couches, whoever they are. You're just showing the work, so it's just amazing. I also share your work at Facebook, the Art Experiences on Facebook, ArtTalk with Susana Baker on Facebook, and at Chris Riggs in Instagram, at the Art Experiences on Instagram. And for everyone, Chris Riggs, I love your look. You're colorful. Your heart is as colorful and vibrant. What you do for the community.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it speaks volumes.
We're all human from planet Earth. Like you were asking me in the coffee room, like, oh, where you from? Like, I'm from planet Earth. If we all start thinking like that, because this racism is pushed on us. Like, people want us to hate each other, We just have to realize we're on a ball in the middle of space, in the middle of multi-universes. Theories are coming out right now from universities. So we have no idea what's out there. We don't have no idea. They found so many Earth-like planets. We got no idea what's on there. and
We
we
have
just
to
got to
protect our
realize that
own.
we got to take care of our own planet, and we're all humans from here. Because if somebody's coming here or from galaxies far away, and we have water and resources here, and we look like a bunch of idiots here killing each other.
I know.
If there's an aliens looking
Right
at us,
now what's
we're
happening-
killing each other in this country and that country. We look stupid.
And the hate and the diversity, the division, because diversity we love, division we hate. So I got to tell you, Chris Riggs, thank you for joining me on Friday morning
you.
Art Talk 880 The Biz. Download the app; it's free on Android or on iPhone. 880thebiz.com, coming to you every Friday mornings at 10:40. Art Talk with Susana Baker on The Money Man. Have yourself a safe and healthy weekend. We'll see you next Friday on Art Talk with Susana Baker, and catch at Chris Riggs some of his phenomenal work. Thank you,
Thanks so
Chris.
much. Peace is the only solution.
Peace.